Okay, I think we're live. Hey, everybody, CM Carney. Chris, for those of you who know, author of The Realms, the first books, Barrow King, as well as The Quintessence, and a bunch of other things in the mix. Um, a lot of people probably are wondering where the hell the next book is. It's very soon. I am in the last 4 chapters or so of writing. It's been way too long. So my apologies for all of you who are actually were waiting. um, it's not letting me talk. Let me see if I can connect. Yeah. Yeah, apparently it doesn't want to connect, so I don't know if I can join this chat. Anyway, Doom Vault, which is book 8, is probably going to be the longest. It's pretty close already, so I'm estimating 160,000 words. I'm going to release it a little differently than I have my other books. This one is going to be first done on Kickstarter. I just had a Kickstarter end Thursday. It's a little small one for a new Dead Must Die audio because Armin Taylor wasn't available when I first did that, so I wanted to make it consistent throughout the whole series. So he should be doing that actually now, which is cool because I'll be able to get those to the backers probably in less than a month. But reason I'm doing Kickstarter is to kind of expand beyond Amazon. I'll probably be focusing a lot more on my Patreon with my next series, trying to build that up as well, just so I can have more direct access to all you guys. Because right now it's kind of, I don't know who the hell buys my books unless you tell me, which is sort of annoying. What else I'll do, not quite sure. So I don't know if there's anybody in there that's got a question because I can't really see this thing. Oh, hello, Hyas, it's Maria. Let me see if I can join this chat again. Yeah, I keep getting an error message for some reason, so I don't know. Sorry about that. Anyway, I guess let's see what else what have I been reading? I'm actively, of course, waiting for Dungeon Crawler Carl, as is everybody. I finally jumped on the He Who Fights with Monsters train, which I had not for reasons I don't understand. I think I'm in book 5 now. As you can maybe see on the shelf above, the very top one there, those are all, I'm pretty obsessed with Kickstarter special editions. I think I've supported 118 Kickstarters. Don't tell the wife. So that's another reason why I'm jumping into Kickstarter, because I just love the platform. It's just so cool watching projects come to fruition that otherwise wouldn't. Like some of these special editions are just ridiculous. And spoiler, I will be doing that for the Realms at some point once I figure out the best type of hardcovers, because there's so many options you can do. It's research, yes. Exactly. So it's a tax write-off. Yes, lots of tabletop. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, over there. The problem is I don't play as much as I used to. I read them, which I think might be, again, research. And, tax write-offs. I've literally opened every one of those books dozens of times while writing the Realms and the Quintessence, and even the middle grade series that should be coming out soon called Nightman and Page. That one's a co-written one with my longtime friend Wade, who this idea's pretty much been, I think we first came up with it in 2000 when him and I worked on an animation company together. the basic premise behind that series is, what if the once and future king mythology was not quite accurate? Instead of getting King Arthur, this brave, super heroic, smart king, we get this doofus who is brave and bold, but not so bright. So he gets thrown in the modern era, and we have a sort of Batman and Robin if Batman was an idiot, and if Alfred was a bumbling version of Merlin. So it's going to be aimed at kids and adults like me who like those kind of things. It also is going to be illustrated. So if you have kids and the Last Kids on Earth series, that's going to kind of be the same sort of vein. Hit you for a link for which one? Because Nightmare Page isn't out yet. Yeah, we're hoping to have all 3 books written. I've written the first one. Illustrators illustrated it fully, but we're going to try to do kickstart it as a trilogy. So probably late 2025 at the earliest. But I don't know if I can show any art because I don't know how the hell this thing works. I don't have any slides to show. Yeah, I should have set that up before. Anyway, that's going to be a really fun series, I think. So I'm excited about that one. After Doom Vault, I have one more book in the realms. And then I'm not sure what I'm writing in the lit RPG world after that. If anybody was listening to the previous panel, during my burnout phase, I brainstormed and came up with another, I think, 40 different ideas, because that's what I do. Some of them would fit perfectly in this genre, others a little bit outside of it. And unfortunately, the one that I really, really, really want to write is less lit RPG. So I probably have to hold that one just to build my stuff up more a bit. Because it has been so long since I published a book. So yeah, as for those of you on Kindle Unlimited who are waiting for Doom Vault, my plan is to kickstart that book starting in November and deliver the ebooks at least to people by February, if not sooner. And then a month after that, I'll basically put it up on Kindle Unlimited. So probably March, but if you want to read it early, obviously support Kickstarter. Yeah, I agree, Tim. That panel was pretty crazy. And I think needed. But somebody's popping in here. Uh-oh. It's this guy.
Oh.
Hello, Eric.
Takeover.
This is Mr. Eric Ugland of The Good Guys, Bad Guys. What's the other one? Medium Guys?
Grim Guys.
Grim Guys. Average Guys.
And the other one, Master of Puppets.
Oh, yes. How's that one going? I haven't read that one yet.
Oh, it's going.
So how's the puppy?
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Oh. He's super cute, though. Stop biting.
Yeah. New writing assistant right here.
Yeah, mine's snoring on the floor behind me.
Not helping that much.
No.
Are you? You going to bite me on camera? Mm-hmm. No, you're going to be cute and
well
behaved.
I'm going to pretend to be a good boy on camera.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's always difficult to tell how things are going, especially like first books in a series,
Yeah. Because this is what, 8th unpublished that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not like blowing up the charts, but it did okay. I think people seem to like it most of the way.
What made you decide to go with them?
They asked if I had something, and I was excited to work with them. So I threw them what I had as books I have not written yet, and they're like, "We'll take that one."
Stop snoring. This is my goober. He's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Can have a goober off here.
Yeah.
This guy should be sleeping.
Steve or Jamie Castle is just moved from his house, which was literally a stone throws from mine.
Yeah.
A bit further away.
Like 2 stones?
And I don't see him nearly as much as you would think for somebody who's around the corner. But
it's always how it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Are you still in Maine, or are you moved to Vermont?
Still in Maine.
Yeah.
Rest of my family's in Vermont.
Yeah.
So kind of mosey out there a couple of times.
I'm going to go on the record and say I'm jealous of your New England homesteading.
It's it's all right. It's odd to think that everyone around here is like praying for a super cold winter, but we all are. It's kind of weird what happens if you don't get cold enough here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Has it been hot up there?
It's been pretty warm, and the last couple of winters haven't been cold enough to like kill off the mosquitoes enough or the ticks. So it's kind of just like insect heaven here.
I hate those bastards.
Yeah. And so now
that's the one thing that my wife is not thrilled about, the idea of maybe moving to New England once the kiddo goes to college, is mosquitoes love her for some reason.
Yeah. And then the ticks are insane, which means that the turkeys are insane. We have I don't like calling them a herd because it doesn't really seem to fit, or a flock. It's like
gaggle? No, that's geese, I think.
Yeah. If it's domesticated turkeys, it's a roost.
Oh yeah.
Because they actually do nests in trees. But there's a group of like 20 some odd that live on our sort of joint property with the people on our road. And they just like, you see them out the window and you're just like, those guys they're plotting something. Because they're big, they're huge when you think of birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, rafter. That just doesn't sound good. Rafter sounds silly.
I want to know who the hell, I mean, I know we're all like word dudes, but who the hell came up with all these random, I mean, I know English is one of those languages. It's like 3 or 4 languages pretending to be one, but
yeah, like why? Who is sitting there going, you know what? A group of turkeys. That sounds terrible. Now,
yeah, I feel like there's like an Illuminati group back in the day that was sitting in a room deciding what they're going to call crap.
Well, my favorite of any is a crash of rhinos.
That's awesome, because that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
When was the last time you saw a group of rhinos around?
The gamer Dame is right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we'd be a little bit less scary to the rest of the world with a turkey military versus the bald eagle. Just looks tougher.
Yeah,
except
when you actually find out about the bald eagle, they're kind of silly birds. Yeah. And they make bad noises.
Bad noises.
Yeah, they're not at all impressive when you actually hear them.
So we need like a hawk or a falcon instead.
I mean, that's like if you like most TV shows and stuff will use like a red-tailed hawk noise instead of a bald eagle. And they're not as bad as peacocks. Peacocks have the worst call.
Yeah, there was when I lived in Orlando, there's a park that I guarantee, I don't think they're natural because I don't think they're from this part of the world, but somebody decided it was a good idea to put a bunch of peacocks, and they were just assholes.
Yeah,
come up and spread their colors and heckle people.
Apparently, they're quite tasty, though.
I could see a lot of people that would wanted to find that out, but I don't know if they did.
Well, they used to be like a regular sort of, meal bird in the Middle Ages. You would just have peacock, or if you were somewhere not England, swan. But all the swans in England belong to the Queen, so you're not allowed. Well, I guess not the King, so you're not allowed to take them. I know, but guinea fowl eat ticks more than any other bird, so we have to love them.
So we need more of those.
Yeah, it's like those and possums. Do you want to get down?
Yeah, here in Texas, we have the damn fire ants, which...
There you go. Here's your bed.
I don't know what those things function for. They're like the assholes of the insect world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember. I used to live there. You'd be playing soccer, you pause for a second, and then, you're watching the play, and then everything starts hurting really bad because you paused for a second.
Yeah.
You're standing in a fire ant nest.
Well, that was the thing that, when I first moved here, I'm like, what do you mean you can't, walk around in the grass? Because New Hampshire, you just do it all the time. You lay down in the grass. Here, you risk dying.
Take your life in your hand.
Congregation of gators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you writing now? What are you working on?
Book 2 for the Master of Puppets. It's difficult because we call it internally the mop bucket, just because Master of Puppets, MOP, mop. So every time I talk about it with somebody, I have to be like, no, Master of Puppets is not Mop Bucket.
It's like not you're writing a mop.
I'm writing Mop Buckets. Yeah. So yeah, I got to get that done. It was supposed to be done a while ago, and then I threw out the whole thing and started over.
Yeah, I know a little bit about. I mean, it's been 2.5 years, I think, since I've had a book out.
Yeah,
which is not great. Yeah, I'm actually excited though because the last book in the realms is, I think it's going to be a pretty quick write because it's what I've been building towards, obviously, for 8 other books.
I hope I am putting all of my writer eggs in that basket for you. I thought this was going to be a quick write, and it's been since July. Which, for those of you going, oh, that's not that bad. For we pulp writers, got to get the churn going.
Yeah, I mean, you write a lot faster than I am. How many books do you have out now?
I don't know.
Remember?
Let's see. There's 26, 27 just of the guys, I think.
Okay.
Of the various ones. And then there's Master of Puppets, and then there's all the non-lit RPG books, which is like 9 or 12, something like that.
Yeah, those were more like, what genre was that? I remember seeing them, but I never read any of them.
So I have a mystery series, which frankly still brings in, a couple $100 a month, so which just blows my mind. Then there's 3 of that, but each one of them is each one of those is a volume of 6 novellas, so it's 18 novellas total.
Okay.
So I never know. It shouldn't count as 18, but 3 seems a little low. Then I have an adventure series that's 3 books. I have 1 cosmic horror that I love, but no one else did. And 1 political thriller. Again, no one else loves that one. I think that one's like, when you look at the ranking, that one's in 18 millionth, something like that. And then I have 1 urban fantasy. So I was just sort of, I wasn't following the proper advice of just write in 1. I was like, people will follow me because I'm that good.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, in the last panel when we were, talking about burnout, I was saying that when I got mine pretty bad, when I just couldn't write words, like the words wouldn't count, but the creativity was still there, and the stuff that I've done for decades before I finally got my ass down on the chair and wrote the words for a book. And I have dozens of those stupid composition notebooks when people actually used to write by hand, nice.
I still do.
Filled with random ideas, and some of them are crap, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have somewhere I have a one of those big really large books. I think it's A3 size or something, where I'm just writing ideas down, and eventually, if I can fill it, I'd like to sell it as a facsimile where people can buy a book of ideas.
Yeah. People be like, wait a minute, this dude's weirder than I thought he was.
Oh yeah, these are all the ones he didn't use.
Yeah, I actually found it the last couple of years I'm using the notes thing in the iPhone, and partially because it just instantly syncs with my Mac. So
I continue to go further and further away from digital with things.
I think I actually like writing by hand, which is why I like the Remarkable still.
Mm-hmm. I have a Remarkable somewhere in this mess back here.
That looks like what is that, a tool chest behind you?
Oh yeah, this is the best office furniture I've ever found. Look, all of the pens I use are fit in 1 drawer. This is all of the technology sort of stuff. This is all the fountain pen ink.
You're way the hell more organized than I am.
Fountain pens. Oh yeah. What? There's nothing up there for you. I know.
It's I want to bite it.
I know. Do you want to come up again? You want to bite my face off like you did this morning?
I'm gonna just name it headline since it's way too freaking in my face.
Yeah.
Let's see if that's better.
I have 2 drawers full of nothing but keyboards of all different shapes.
I had this awesome keyboard that I loved that for some reason it was a Logitech one, and when I got the new computer, it just doesn't talk to it anymore. And they're like, "Oh, we haven't updated this software." Well, what the hell? It's been 3 years, you bastards. So I had to get a new one because stop connecting to the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said he's bitey, but I don't want that puppy.
Yeah, he's a delightful little guy, but he's also
He's like, I'm gonna be super sweet on camera, Daddy, so no one believes you.
right. I will never act out again. Had my paws crossed.
You said he's what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
He's 3 months.
Oh, 3 months, sorry.
So yeah. So he's a rescue. He looks 90% German Shepherd, maybe
I would say
10% African wild dog. I feel like his
That's
ears
mighty
are
better.
a little bit bigger and rounder than German Shepherds, but
Yeah,
not by
that's
much.
my dog's a frug apparently, which I
Yeah.
didn't even know was a thing until
A French poodle pug or French
it's a
bulldog
French
pug.
bulldog and pug. At least that's what they think. And got all the traits of both. Like you see anything on Frenchies that they don't listen. You take them for a walk, it's more like a drag. They bark like all hell, but they've got the goofiest personality. So you're like, oh, that other stuff is forgiven because you're freaking a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like he treats me like a chew toy, but everybody else. Oh, do you want to get down again? Okay, you can get down.
See ya, puppy.
There you go.
So what have you been reading in the genre? Anything?
In the genre, well, I read the whole of Life of a Soldier. I forget who writes that. That was good. It was interesting.
I know that one.
It was on Royal Road. It's also on KU. Very, very good. Interesting. Looking at a sort of fantasy Roman legion and kind of how that would work within the boundaries of a lit RPG or a world with a system. I've actually been reading a bunch of stuff that's not lit RPG. A lot of war-based books. The project I'm thinking about doing next is like a commander-based lit RPG.
Okay.
And so trying to write someone, because I have a lot of military experience in my family, and so I've talked to a lot of members of my family about their experiences. But for me, I've never been in a position of command or combat or anything like that. So talking with people where I can, and then reading a lot of books about it. And then I started, every once in a while, I remember this one author. His name, I honestly don't know his real name. He writes his historical fiction under Christian Cameron, I think, and his fictional fantasy under Miles Cameron. Might be the other way around.
Okay.
But I'm reading his story of someone through the 100-Year War, and it's just like, it's fascinating. His grasp of like knightly combat or like men at arms or like that medieval. Thanks, Joe. Medieval combat, just in terms of like what it means to be a knight in terms of how long does it take to get dressed? What does it mean to like move? Well, how to like getting on a horse and like so much of that in D&D and all of that is just sort of glossed over. But
yeah, it's like hand wavium for combat as well as
exactly.
magic.
But like reading like the reality of it, it's just so interesting. Like I really wanted to just like, I would love to write a lit RPG in a system that really digs into there and is like really lives in that. Yeah, he's got just like a great sense of what's going on and like what it means to like live in a harness and like what all the pieces mean and like, well, how does it feel to be shot with an arrow while you're in a suit of armor, and that sort of dichotomy of knowing it's not going to hurt you but feeling like it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so is the Barrow King complete?
Now Barrow King's book 1 of the Realms, because
that's right. And so you have one more to go, right?
The what? I got 2 more to go. So Doom Vault, which is book 8, will be out soon. I'm gonna do the Kickstarter in November, mostly to get it before the Christmas lull that apparently all Kickstarters have. So I'm gonna do it for like, I don't know, 27 days, maybe something like that. So end it in the first couple weeks of December. And
Makes
then
sense.
by then it should be fully edited. My wife's my editor,
Same.
which was sort of a happy coincidence. Like when I was writing Barrow King, she started like, I want to read it. And then she started editing it. I'm like, well, she's like a super attention to detail person, which is not me. So I think she's going to be happy when the series is over, because when I started writing it, like super crunchy stats was the thing. So I didn't know that there wasn't non-super crunchy stats.
Right.
And I even make a joke in this book where I'm like, what kind of asshole came up with this complicated system? Because I'm like, he just has so many things he can do now.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
and I definitely have started ignoring the math. I think I started doing that in like book 4, where I'm just like, okay, stuff happens. I'm not going to tell you he did like this much damage anymore, because that's just really annoying.
Yeah. I started
I
to
don't think
realize
anybody cares, to be honest with you.
Well, apparently Ryan Maxwell does. I've started kind of trying to feel where that happy middle ground is.
Yeah.
Where, the numbers are there and I'm doing the math, but it's almost, there's more relegated to the background than I probably would have if I was still writing, 6 years ago when crunch was king.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I like about my system is it's always, I mean, at least with Griff, the main character, his approach to it has always been, or actually, I think this is probably my approach that obviously he took on because I'm creating him, was
Right.
I like the manipulations of systems, like finding not necessarily loopholes, but like the synergy between things that don't normally go together. That's what I like. So I think that's always going to be part of everything I write, every system I create.
Similarly,
but
I think
I'm going to dumb down all the stat blocks to it. Like I don't even think that the last 3 books have had Griff's character sheet in it.
I make sure the character sheet shows up at least once a book, because I didn't one book. I was like, it takes up so much space. It's awful to hear the whole thing. And so but then I got this note. It's like, why is his character sheet? It's not lit RPG if we can't see the character sheet. And it's like, you know what? That actually kind of makes sense. It was my bad on that one. But now I make sure it's always in its own chapter. So if people are listening to it, it's just,
they can just skip it.
Super easy to skip.
I have thought of just putting it like as an appendix, be like, if you want to see it, here it is.
Yeah.
But the problem is, since I haven't been doing it, I haven't been tracking all the specific numbers. Like, so I guarantee you, if somebody went, like some math nerd went through it and added it all up, they'd be like, well, you have an error here. Yeah, probably.
You know what? A good concussion solves a lot of math errors.
Yeah.
Like I had this hazy memory of selecting some things on my character sheet. It must have been after that ogre hit me with his club, or maybe it was my leg.
And I assume Montana's got a few concussions.
I was actually
also.
Yeah, well, I was realizing how bad his head would have been, and so I had to give him like a power to keep keep that from going too far down that path. Hey man, maybe I was. No comment.
We're all in the club where we don't get to watch people.
Exactly. Oh no.
And we don't have to write characters. We just, observe and mock.
We just put, Brian Norden in every single book. You just have to find it.
That cracks me up. I still haven't read his book. I've had it on my Kindle for
that's great.
Since he published it, and I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. Oh, that's your link. Ooh.
Somebody put up my stuff.
How dare they? What?
And that other guy.
Oh, don't go with that other guy.
I thought for a second that was a picture. It's supposed to be a picture of me like that. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't look that cool.
Oh, that guy writes about mops and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge doing all this, isn't it?
Yeah, it was funny because one of the things I didn't get to on the burnout thing was realizing that I get burned out from things that I haven't even done. Like, I'm supposed to be on TikTok, or I gotta make my Patreon work, or I gotta learn about Kickstarter, and I'm like, there's just so much crap. I'm like, that's what I want AI for. Do all that shit for me.
That's what I want to hire assistants for.
Yeah.
Or not assistants, hire people to do that. I've been fortunate that I've been able to hire out a lot of the things I don't want to do, as I try to just anytime something comes up, I try to get out of it as soon as possible to get back to where writing is basically all I do.
Yeah, that's my hope too.
I think that's the best thing. I know there's a lot of people who, or a lot of other authors who look at, how can I minimize the expenses in terms of, like, how can I keep from having to have employees or have outside help for all these things, because that's expenses that boost your overhead. But I think when you start trying to figure out what the true opportunity cost is, and now here's the boring economics part. You have to sit there and actually think about, like, well, how much is your time actually worth? What is, like, it is right now. I'm trying to decide if I want to hire a snowplow guy to plow our driveway,
Yeah.
or if I want to continue to do it myself. And it's like, well, every time there's a good snow, it's like between 1 and 2 hours to get it all clear. But like, what is my actual hourly rate based on how much book I can do in 2 hours?
Yeah, and the only reason to keep that kind of stuff is if it is a mental break for you. But having lived in New England,
Exactly.
shoveling is like one of those things that when you first move there or you're a kid, you're like, this is cool. And then it very quickly becomes annoying as hell.
We're like, oh, hey, it's not going to be that bad. First snowfall, we do it by hand. Straight, like, physical shovel, 3 hours to clear the driveway.
Yeah.
Because it's like a nice long driveway, which in the spring and the summer looks beautiful. Winter, it sucks. So got a snowblower, and then, it still takes an hour plus, got a bigger snowblower. It doesn't work as well as the smaller snowblower. And then sometimes when the snow is like truly nasty, I have to use this like tiny snowblower I bought as a joke, because I can hold it above the bottom level of the snow, so I can just take it off a layer at a time.
Yeah, especially if it's that wet crap that you get up there.
Yeah. Oh God.
It weighs a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the worst. It was like almost 4 hours to clear it out. And that's when I was like, you know what? There's no reason for me to do this. How much is the snowplow, dude?
Yeah.
I was actually like, how much would it be for me just to buy my own snowplow?
Oh, something in the private chat. I think
Uh-oh.
yep. She's booting us off.
What?
Apparently it's the half an hour. She's like, oh yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to Eric and I blather nonsense.
Yeah. Welcome to
read his books, read my books, read other people's books.
Oh, read his books. Don't read my books.
His books are good. I like his
books are better.
I can't even point in the right direction with clarity over there.
No, wait, you're this way to me. That way.
Yeah.
Read that way. The puppy's asleep, by the way. Otherwise I'd pick him up and tell him, have him wave by.
Snoring like a goober.
Mm-hmm. Are we supposed to be waving now? Are we just